Right, it's where our nose is located to our prefrontal cortex, right? The part of our brain that does memory, mood, and emotion, right? The species, our human, our body.
It's one of our senses.
It is, and
yes.
where it, where it's located and what happens when it hits the brain. And that's why I have so many people that sit down and they're like, oh, this smells like, and they remember something that's a 40, 50-year-old memory, and they can tell me exactly everything about that memory, maybe who they were with. I think it's beautiful. It's one of the transactions that I really.
The opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and not necessarily those of WKTV Community Media.
Hello, West Michigan. This is Grand Tap Media Business TV. My name is Pamela Keim, your host. The spirit of the show is to introduce West Michigan to all the businesses, nonprofits, individuals that can help us thrive in our lives. Have you have a problem with odor, or you would like to have a new smell in your house, your car, your business? Many of us know that smell can bring up good feelings, bad feelings, or just make us feel at ease when we walk into a building, somebody's house. How many times have we said, God, that smells fabulous? We all love the smell of baking, maybe bread. We walk into Panera Bread, that's in our neighborhood here, and we just love the smell of it. I don't know what there is about smell, but our next guest is going to share a little bit about that. I'm going to welcome to the show is Tanya Thompson, and she is the owner of Aroma Labs, and you might see them in your neighborhood downtown, and I believe she has one in Kalamazoo.
Yes.
And she's going to share why she started the business, why it's important to find the smell that just makes you feel fabulous, which I'm looking forward to doing. And she's going to share what her mission is and why she started it. I want to welcome you to the show very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Pamela.
All right. So I have heard a lot about you, and I think with everything that's gone on the last 3 years, it's kind of, everything's kind of, people are looking for a smell maybe in their home because they're working in their home.
Yeah.
And they're putting their office and their family in their home, and they have to go through it. But we all know the importance of smell.
Yeah.
But you have an interesting story why you started this business, how this came about, and I just want you to share with West Michigan, who are you, and what prompted you to think that people are going to be coming in saying, yeah, I've got to find that right smell for me.
Yeah, so thank you again. My business is the Aroma Labs. Actually, I started in my basement 4 years ago. But prior to that, I had lost my husband at age 30. My girls were 3 and 6 at the time.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and the process of creating something helped me get out of my head, right? We've kind of talked about that a little bit, how important it is when we get this anxious brain to do something to help soothe it. So mine was being creative. So I would make lotions and scrubs and chapsticks and bath bombs and toilet bombs and anything really. And then twofold, right? My girls could help me do them. We could do them together, and then we could give them away to the teachers and the bus drivers, because as a single widowed mom, I didn't have the resources. So it was really important to me to show my appreciation to the people that had helped us on our journey. From there, I got an associate's, a bachelor's, and an MBA, so that helped me with the training of the mind. Back when I had moved home to Michigan with my daughters and lost my husband, it was 2009, and the economy was really hard at the time.
Yes, I do remember.
So basically, I would work any job that I could to be with my girls and to continue my education. So from age 30 to 40, I did the training of the mind with a formal education. It turned out to one of my classes. It was entrepreneurship through business acquisition, and I did always have an entrepreneurship mind, and I loved different creative businesses. But I asked my professor if I could write up something a little bit more special, and it was my business model, the Aroma Labs.
So you always wanted to bring this into I guess, in the market or
you know,
into
I
people's
kind of
homes?
took all the pieces that made me me, right? I love coaching, training, teaching. I bartended for a long time.
Oh God, you're a
yeah.
people
So
person.
mixing, yeah. Well, and mixing. I mix alcohol in different ways now.
Right.
And I love the transaction that happens between humans when they make something together. And I learned that through, you know, making things with my daughters. People would love the scrubs I would make. I would invite them to my home, and right there on my counter, we would create together. It's a transaction that happens between humans that you can't take back, right? And it's something that I find very special, is the ability to create something with somebody.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so may I ask, did you grow up? Was your mother like this? Because a lot of us have like family recipes. We remember baking together, but we never really, I would say in my world, and I don't want to speak for people out there in West Michigan, but it's not like we looked at our soap and say, you know, I would like to make my soap. I would like to make my scrubs. I mean, where did that come from?
You know, not my parents that raised me. It was probably my grandma. My grandmother lived below the poverty line all of her life and made everything. So I spent a lot of time with my favorite human in the whole wide world, whether it was growing our food, making clothes with her, just spending the time watching her. I don't think she intended to be creative. I think she was doing it as a lifestyle because of her financial situation, and kind of was my financial situation as well.
Well, I think too, when you deal with grandparents, and I always tell people that, you know, sometimes your parent, your mom and dad, are better grandparents than they were.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think that's just the way it's supposed to be. They have the time, and they realize with wisdom these moments that they weren't able to spend.
Right.
And so they want to share, you know, how to garden,
Right.
you know, how to take care of your household,
Right.
or, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, my son's, my children's grandfather taught him how to, you know, build things with wood.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, we never taught us that. He was always so busy.
Right.
But you probably get that with
Yeah.
when you were with your grandmother.
Yeah.
All right, so you said that you lost your husband, and here you are with 2 children.
Yeah.
Did you just, something I read in your bio and everything, through the grieving process,
Yeah.
that you said you had to keep busy, and what was that like? Because there's a lot of people that don't handle that well when that happens to them.
Right.
They have something tragic happens in their life, and they get stuck.
Right.
And you
Yeah.
probably meet them.
Yeah.
And then they hear your story, you're like, oh, you know, and
Yeah.
you created something. So what was
Right.
that like? What made you like lay there on the couch after dealing with the grieving and your sorrow? Maybe financially you don't know what you're gonna do.
Right. It was for my girls.
Yeah?
Yeah, the girls helped me move forward for sure. Like I said, I bartended for a long time, and that was the only job that I could get when I came back to Michigan in 2009 and lost their father, even though I had excellent work experience bartending. And I was like, wow, I'm not proud of myself. I'm not proud of myself. And I want to be proud of myself, and I want my daughters to be proud. That's not the legacy I want to leave for them, as my mom was a bartender. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with bartending, but it definitely ran its course for me.
Right.
So yeah, the legacy I left behind is really important. That's why I've moved forward and continue the education. And I wanted to teach my girls that, I mean, these are the cards that you were dealt, but you can play strategically with the hand that you have.
Right.
Yeah, and as a single widowed mom, yeah, I think.
So how
was
long
really
did
important.
it take? Okay, so you're as we all have, some of us do, an epiphany, or okay, I need to do something. I can't change that he's gone.
Right.
I can't change that maybe he didn't financially set us up
Right.
where he should have. I still have my bills coming in.
Yeah.
I still have to buy food,
Yeah.
right? And I still have to raise these beautiful
Yeah.
girls, right? And without this, dealing with this tragedy.
Yeah.
Because I know they miss their dad
Yeah.
more than, you know, you miss a husband, but they miss a dad differently, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there you're late. So you late and you start, one night at 2 o'clock in the morning, you start putting things together, you know, making, I mean, what is that? Because everybody asks me too. It's like, what did you do? I'm like, I just made a decision.
Yeah.
And just did an action.
Right. Just one action. Just, one
Right.
class. It was just one class. It started with one class, and then it started, well, maybe I'll get my associate's degree. And then, oh, maybe I'll get my bachelor's. Well, wow, I got an opportunity to be a graduate assistant, so they're going to pay my master's. Well, I get my master's. So you're right, just one step at a time, one small move of correction, of leads to, then you look back after 10 years like, oh wow, look at associates, a bachelor's, a master's degree. Oh wow, a business plan. Oh wow, it's been 4 years since I started the Aroma Labs in my basement, and now I have the 2 physical brick and mortars. I'm working on the mobile unit, and I'm almost done franchising. So just one small step a day, like what could I do today to make my life better? Yeah.
Well, I would say that that's true, because most people I talk to, it's like I never would have thought. And you're still going to be, if you're at 30 trying to make a decision, as you had to make, if you don't make something in time, you're still going to be 40.
Right.
And what else you got to do? I mean, if it's just one class, one, I can make, like, say gardening. I can go out and pick up. I don't like yard work, but I like nice yards.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can go out as I walk down my driveway and pull as many weeds as I can. But I don't have to spend 4 hours.
No.
But once you get it maintenance, and then you're like, okay, I could put a flower in, and pretty soon my yard looks amazing this year by just one action.
Yep, 1 10-minute action a day.
Yeah, and
dedicated.
That's it.
Yep.
And that's how it works, doesn't it? Okay, so you start your business, and it's all about scents. So did you always have a love for scents? Or
I have a love for product making. I love,
so it wasn't necessarily smells, it's just something that you...
product making, the lotions, the scrubs. You know, what does a beard balm do? What does a beard oil do? What is an apricot oil? What's shea butter? What's cocoa butter? I love the way the different textures of products and what it does to your skin, or and then, you know, adding the scents on was just the final piece, right?
Oh, okay.
It was just the final piece.
So that came later.
It did, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Where did you have to do a lot of research on?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a lot of research on, especially for writing up the business plan for one of my last classes in my MBA. You know, what's the trajectory? What has fragrance done? You know, just in the United States, in the world. Where, you know, how did it start? What's the evolution? What are trends, and what is trending for the future? Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
And so once you got your business, I mean, that's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
How did you do it, Tanya? I mean, so seriously, all of us have known people that have had businesses.
Yeah.
And they will tell you it's more HR, trying to get employees, trying to make them happy, trying to stay.
Oh, yeah. I love people, though. So.
Yeah. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And then getting, you know, what products are going to sell, and then accepting that you could, all right, I bought this product. It's not working.
Right. Yeah.
I got to change it. Does that make?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely for the first couple years, it's like, you know, well, first of all, I like to say I stopped drinking, smoking, and dating incompatible men, so I had a lot of time on my hands, which I teach my girls too. Like, if we shed the things that are not serving our best self, we have a lot of time to do a lot of different things.
That is true.
Everything has an opportunity cost. So I don't watch a lot of TV at all. But yeah, I spend time making things. But writing up the business plan, it looks a lot different. The actual business plan I wrote.
Than the original?
Absolutely.
They always say that.
Yeah, well, because you don't know. Just like you said, you don't know what's going to catch on and what you have an interest. And I think working on your business with your customers is what you're going to have to do to know. So I feel like the first 2 years, you don't have a business plan until it starts making, you don't have a business until it starts making money.
Right, because then it's a hobby.
Right, yeah.
They always tell you that, right?
I definitely started out as a hobby, and the pop-ups that I did as a hobby, but then when I opened the brick and mortar with no experience in retail at all, I felt like a kind of a rabid hamster, really, just trying to, I took on all my personal debt myself, credit card debt.
So tell me a little bit about that, because I know there's a lot of people out there that start businesses and they do fund them through their credit cards.
Yeah.
And that overwhelming bill that comes in, right?
Bills.
And bills, right? Bills, and it's always like, okay, I know people have done it and convinced themselves, if I buy this, that I'll get they're constantly, but what made you, how did you handle that? Because it's stress. You're trying to get your business off the ground, and then you're getting these bills, and if you're not having enough money coming in yet.
Right.
To pay
I think a lot of my vendors, like the people that I utilize for like labels and stuff, they were graceful with me. I sat down with them before I brought them on board to tell them like my vision, and they're graceful with me, so I can pay like maybe a little later than normally they understand. So I'm really lucky in my vendors being gracious like that and helping me understanding my vision and letting me pay maybe a little slower. I don't think, you know, I've always been really modest about everything.
Because you're surprised it happened?
Yeah, well, as a single widowed mom, you know, you really have to be.
It's not supposed to be,
yeah.
There's people out there a lot smarter than I am.
Yeah.
And that's what we always think.
Yeah, so doing it myself was incredibly important, and then starting with one team member, then, you know, bringing on the next. When it comes to my team members, they ask me for a job, and that's how I grow. I think when someone comes to me and asks me for a job, that takes interest in the subject matter, right? Which is incredibly important, and initiative. Those are things I feel that have to have they have to have their intrinsic motivation to help me build together. So those are things that are really attractive to me, and most of the time when they ask me for a job, I'm definitely going to entertain that they've, you know, made the effort to reach out to me. So that's that, yeah.
How old are your children now?
Now, my daughters are almost 21 and 17.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
I have no idea, because I read your story. I was
you
thinking
think
they were 12,
like,
13,
no,
14.
no, I was widowed, widowed on my journey for 12, 13 years, yeah.
Are they part of the business?
Oh my gosh, my youngest daughter made the logo for me. They helped me pick the colors. They've painted, put furniture together, cover shifts, come along, you know, load stuff in the car. I call it my home team, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, all right, what do you have? You know, we talked about a few things, so share about what services.
Yeah, the Aroma Labs is a unique experience in self-expression, right? So you get to come in at no cost and sit down and work through our simple 3-step process where you're smelling the aromas, you're putting the aromas together in a recipe that you like, and then you can put them in different mediums. And when I refer to mediums, is that a lotion, a scrub, a beard oil, a beard balm, a traditional wearable fragrance, whether that's a spray or a roller. We have scents for your car, we have scents for your room, your home office, your bathroom, your closet. We have something for everybody, and that's what I really love, is that everybody can come in, and maybe grandma makes a lotion and grandpa makes a cologne and mom makes a car scent, and maybe the grandchild will make a roller ball, something very specific to them, smells like what they want, with someone they care about, and a product that they're going to use when they
What if you walk in and you're like, I don't know what I want, but you want maybe a guy, right? Because you come in and they want a car smell, or they have an office. It's like, look, I'm tired of, I want something. Yeah. We all want something to pick us up and get us through the day. Yeah. And where do you start? Yeah, well, we have a process. 6 steps to the perfect Aroma Labs experience. So we start with engaging the customer, showing them our 3 steps. It's just simple 3 steps process. So again, we walk them through the process, and if they find that they didn't like what they make, that's fine. There's no obligation. They can leave. But most of the time, everybody loves something that they've made, and they put it into a product. Now, when it comes to our products, our mediums, our lotions, our scrubs, our beard oil and beard balm, those are my recipes. Those are recipes that I've created. But you can buy them. You can buy them in
and it smells like whatever they want. Yeah.
If they smell it, they're like good. Well, we all have homes. We all know growing up, you always walked into grandma's house. They had a smell, right? You walked in your aunt's house. I don't know why. I really don't. And maybe you have a parent at home you're taking care of, and there's smells that you really, you have anything for that? Because I know that a lot of people take care of their elderly parents or whatever, or they maybe have an office. We were just talking about why dentists also, they smell the same. And I guess you said they can't have any smells there, which is kind of sad. Yeah. We have room diffusers, whether room diffusers, room sprays, car scents, all of them will, scent your space as well. All right. So you have where you can have parties too? You can bring in guests? How's that look? Again, I love the experience that happens between humans when they make something together. So we do birthday parties, date night, corporate event, team building events, bachelorette parties. I actually have a bachelorette party this afternoon. People come from all over and create something, and like I said, it gives everybody an opportunity for self-expression and be individual, right? Like maybe you don't wear a fragrance, a perfume or a cologne, but you sure would like a nice lotion or a shaving cream or a body butter, or even a nice soft scent, not so potent. But yet you want to feel pretty. And it hits your nose, and somehow when the odor hits your nose, it's just kind of like it gives you an emotion.
Yeah.
And you sit up straight, or if
Yeah.
something smells really pretty,
Yep.
like flowers,
Yep.
you smile.
Right. It's where our nose is located to our prefrontal cortex, right? The part of our brain that does memory, mood, and emotion, right? The species, our human, our body.
It's one of our senses.
It is, and where it,
Yes.
where it's located and what happens when it hits the brain, and that's why I have so many people that sit down and they're like, oh, this smells like, and they remember something that's a 40, 50-year-old memory, and they can tell me exactly everything about that memory, maybe
that
who
funny?
they were with. I think it's beautiful. It's one of
Well,
the
it's beautiful,
transactions
but
that
you know,
I really like.
back in the
Yeah.
day, I would tell you, one of the things that they said, if you wanted to be more attractive, you aren't going to believe this, but we were told vanilla
Oh yeah,
is attractive to a guy. And
absolutely.
I'm like, really?
Absolutely.
Why is
It
that?
still is.
Is it really?
It still is. Yeah, it still is.
And I
one
love
of-
vanilla.
Yeah.
That's my favorite ice cream.
Yeah, yeah.
But when he said that, I'm like, for sure?
Yep.
You know, so I used to
Yeah.
put vanilla in water and bake it
Yeah.
in the oven.
Yeah.
You know, before I had, a date over.
Oh, yeah.
So because I wanted
Yeah.
my house to smell. Is that true though?
Oh yeah, yeah. You
Uh-huh.
can now. I've recommended to guests, like if you want, like right now I have the windows open, so you can essentially create a like a room spray and spray it on your screens, and then when the breeze comes in, yeah, you can have
On the screens at home?
Yeah, you
Really?
can, and you can also do it on your filter as well. You change out your the filter at your home.
Right.
Yep. You can spray something on the filter and then put it in, and it'll go throughout your home.
Well, my husband has a cigar lounge, so I'm going to have to stop by and find something on that to do that.
Oh, I have a
because-
beautiful scent. It's called the Gibson. It's vanilla and tobacco.
Oh, you're
You would love it.
kidding.
Yeah, it's very popular.
Okay, I'm going to check that out. All right, we want us to finish up with, okay,
Yeah.
now you mobile. Let's talk about that because that's what a lot of people are doing.
Yes.
They're doing that because there's, they can go and not everybody has to travel. I've heard very success. So tell us about your success in this.
Yeah, so just like I started in my basement, and then the next level was pop-ups. And then from there I had the studio space, and then the 2 brick and mortars, downtown Kalamazoo and downtown Grand Rapids. And I'm in the process of franchising and working with the potential franchisees. The brick and mortar cost for leasing was just outrageous. And I'm like, wow, that kind of money that they'll spend in a short amount of time and not get it back. So that's why I started looking
Right.
at a mobile unit for my franchisees and for myself, to be able to go to the wineries, to be able to go to the bridal, to their homes, to their events, to be able to have mobile, so they would have an asset and not spend $125,000 in rent and have nothing to show for it in 5 years. So the mobile unit is really exciting.
Okay, and so you call and, okay, so let's say I'm a business owner, right? And I have maybe, on average, maybe 25, maybe 30, maybe even less than 100 employees. And I want to have a fun day,
Yeah.
right? Because we all want to have we want to have something we can connect with each other
Yeah.
with. That's always what you want to do, is what can we connect with? We all connect with sports, maybe a football game, but let's connect with something. And then everybody gets to go home
Yeah.
with something,
Yeah.
and every time they think about it, they remember the fun day, right? With the
Absolutely,
employees.
yeah.
I made this with Julie
Yeah.
and Brad and whatever, and because I did that canvas,
Mm-hmm.
the paint, I did it with my husband's coworkers or board members, and they never forgot it. And I never
Yeah.
forgot that experience either.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, and they still have the art.
Yeah.
We still have the picture. Okay, so then what? They call you up and they can bring you into their parking lot and say, look, throughout the day, go down and meet, Tanya or who's there, and few of
Have
you
an
guys.
experience, yeah.
Yeah, have you guys go down,
Yeah,
right? How
yeah.
many does it hold and whatever?
So the truck we're building out right now will do 8 at a time, but it will be equipped to bring things into your facility. So again, we're at the beginning stages of that.
so you can just carry it right into
we
the
could,
break room
yeah, we could,
or
yeah,
conference room.
Yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
I've done that before with Stryker and Pfizer, team building events as well. Yeah, the YMCA, Kalamazoo Public Schools. So yeah, if they can't come in because they're a proximity to either our brick and mortar locations, our intent is to bring it to them. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would be so
Yeah.
exciting. And I think, as my husband that used to be running companies, I used to say, what can we do for the team?
Yeah.
Because you're the wife, right? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to have them, for training for a weekend or whatever somewhere at a conference. All right, what can we do to team build the board members or whatever? And I was always looking. like, this look would be fun. So
Yeah.
that's why the canvas and wine or whatever
Right.
they used to do. And that was probably 5 or 6 years ago. But this would be even, I'd love it if they had something on their counter or whatever and it'd say, you know what, I did that with you.
Yeah.
I did that with
Yeah.
her, and it was a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
I think smell is such an important part of our life, right?
It is. And experience, right? When you have an experience with someone and when you're bringing in, whether your sense of smell, your visual, your kinesthetic, you can solidify the experience, right? When you're doing more of something.
Right.
So the same thing with like the brand. So my pivot in COVID, when noses and gathering were welcome, is scenting for your business. And that allowed me to get the money to open the brick and mortar locations. But so real estate agents, mortgage brokers, client gifts, anything. So if your brand has a scent, let's just say the JW Marriott. We remember the JW
Yes.
Marriott because they're scent. Well, your brand can as well. And the more you can incorporate your customers' senses, whether that's visual, sensory, into their experience with your brand, your business, the more they're going to remember you, just like they remember JW Marriott.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so Tanya, and so I'm going to follow up with this question. If you were to look out, and I want you to look out to our audience, what would you like to bring with your business, the Aroma Labs? Sorry, what would you like to bring to their household? What would you like to get out of your business coming
Yeah.
to visit you? What would you like them to go home with?
Yeah, I love, like I said, the experience that customers get to have with each other and with my business. The exchange that happens with humans when they create something together. It's something that you can't take back. It's something that you're going to remember for a long time. So, booking the birthday parties, the corporate events, the holiday parties, to have that experience with each other is incredibly important. Yeah.
All right, and so how can they reach you? How can they
Yeah.
contact for more information?
Yeah.
Couple locations?
Yeah. So currently we have 2 physical locations, downtown Kalamazoo and downtown Grand Rapids, and we can be found with any other additional information about our products, our services, booking platform, all on the website, which is thearomalabs.com.
All right, we want to thank Tanya
Thank you
Thompson
so
for being
much.
here, dear, sharing your services.
Thank you.
And I love, just sharing out to West Michigan what's out there, because sometimes we just drive by these places and we have
Right.
no idea what they are. Is it a store? Is it a business or whatever? And they're right in our community.
Right.
And once you find out more of the resources, you can share it with others, so to help everybody, because we want everyone to thrive, right?
We do. We all do better when we all do better and smell better.
Exactly, that's exactly it. All right, this is Pamela Kime from Grand Media. We will catch you next time on next week. Take care, everyone.